Yo, this is Noah Cuz. I'm on Splitmind now, and I'm going to be making some content for the team. So today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make a unique 4PF little baby type beat from scratch. And by unique, I mean I'm not going to be using a piano and strings like you hear everybody using nowadays. There is one piano in this, but I don't really count it because it's kind of like an accent. But anyway, I'm just going to play the beat that I'm going to make before I start breaking it down. Before I break down this beat, I'm going to show you how I made the melody. But yeah, let's get it started. Alright, so you already heard this loop, but I'm just going to play it one more time. So you can hear it's like super atmospheric and vibey, and I'm going to show you how to make it. So the first sound I used was Analog Lab, and it sounds like this. Very simple little baby chord progression. It just starts on the F, skips a note in between, goes down to the D sharp, and then down to C sharp, then back up to D sharp at the end. I just have an F minor chord going to, I can't remember what this one's called. I think it's like an F sus, but that's probably wrong. Anyway, you just bring the middle note down, and it makes it sound super dark. And I just have that repeating in a pattern going all the way over. In the space in between, I kind of just filled up the notes. I'm looking at it now, so this is the 1 of the scale. This would be the 5 and the 6 and the 4. And if you do 6 and 4s, that gives it kind of like that creepy feel. And you can see I just kind of wrote in this melody. So for effects, I really just added this metallic drum loop preset from J37. For the next sound, I basically copied the same exact notes, but I took out those middle notes, and this is what that sounds like. For the effects on that one, I didn't add anything. I just leveled it. Now for the next sound, I grabbed this Noir piano from Contact. It's Noir felt. And I took those 2 repeating chords that I did earlier, but I just inverted them and pitched them up like a couple octaves. And you can see they also came in a little bit delayed. And this is what it sounds like. And that just repeats for the second 4 bars. Effects on that one, I just added Valhalla Vintage Verb. So next was this like birds effects. I got it from Jupiter 8 from Arturia. It's in the sound effects folder and it's called Birds. And I'm basically just playing that on the root notes. So for effects on that one, I have a Valhalla Vintage Verb, just to give it some ambience, mid-side matrix to make it super stereo, and then Pan Man just going back and forth. For the bass, I added this super simple serum bass that I use. I just followed the root notes. This is the preset. That's what it sounds like. The only effect I added on there was this decapitator. And then the last sound I added were these accents. So the first thing I added were these reverse plucks and bells and stuff. And if you add this kind of stuff in your melody, it gives it a lot of atmosphere. So I'm just gonna show you what it sounds like. So it just kind of fills out the melody more, and if you think your melody is missing something, try adding some one-shots like that. Next, I added this crackle, super simple. And then this perk loop. So then I just bounced all of the sounds individually and structured the loop out. At the end I added the stems. You can see I had to chop up a couple parts just to get it to sound the way that I wanted it to. But yeah, then I put it all into this one bounce and then added these master effects. I added this fruity parametric EQ too, just to cut out some of the lows, some of the highs, and then boost some of the upper mids. I added a wow control to give it some like detune. I added this delay just to give it a little bit of a slap delay. And then finally I added this ozone imager to make the stereo image how I wanted it. Alright, so now I'm gonna go back in the other project file and show you how I made the beat. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention the BPM is 146. So my master always has a fruity parametric EQ, boosting 3.2 on the highs, 1.6 on the mids, and 3.2 on the lows. And then right after that, it's followed by a soft clipper. You don't have to worry about any of these other plugins. It's just that way I can record into OBS. But yeah, so the first sound I added was this 808, and this is what that sounds like. Next, I just added this simple clap. Then I wanted a snare pattern in between the claps. I'm gonna play the claps with it just that way you can get some context. Next, I added a second snare just to give it even more bounce. Super simple. So next I added this hi-hat, and you can see that it's really just a 2-bar pattern repeating. If you want rappers to get on your beat, just make it super simple and catchy. So this is one way to do it. And I just have that repeating the entire way through. Next I added this open hat, hitting on the 1 and the 5. And then I have this other open hat hitting on the 3 and the 7. The last sound I added was this effects, just going into the hook. So for structuring the first part of the chorus, I took out the kick and the open hats, then I added them back in the second half. Next it goes into the verse, and I just kind of make the first half simpler and then bring some of the elements back in for the second half. Next I have this bridge going into the chorus, and then back into the verse, bridge, chorus, and then the outro. And for the outro I have this 808 just hitting at no velocity. So that way the 808 cuts and it doesn't bleed at the end, because that synth bass comes back in. So for mixing, I really just have this FabFilter EQ cutting out the lows in the melody, and you can see I have it automated. But other than that, I don't have anything on my kick or my 808, my clap, my snares. I just have my kick and my 808 all the way centered. On the hi-hat, I have a looperator. Whoa, this is massive, I forgot about that. It's just doing a simple reverse right here. And then I have a pan man going back and forth, and I brought the mix down some. There's nothing on either of the open hats, and then I have an EQ on the sweep. And you can see each of these, and you can see each of my drums are being bussed to this reverb track. They're all at super low levels. So I just have a little bit of reverb with 7th Heaven just to give the entire beat some ambience, but you can see I even turned that down because I don't want a lot at all. I just kind of want to make everything sound like it's in the same room. But yeah, that's how you make unique beats for Lil Baby from scratch. Like I said, I'm going to be making content for Splitmind now. So if you guys want to see any videos from me, drop them down in the comments below and I'll get to them. Thank you for watching. Follow me on Instagram at NoahCuz. I'm trying to run it up on there. But yeah, I'm gonna let this beat play out. Peace.